with another INT, his second in 2 games.
Pick City, baby.
And that's how the game would end. And I get the big win, and all was well.
Did you not watch the rest?
What?
Listen to the rest?
It was over.
Oh, okay.
I went and I watched some old UFC fights.
Oh, okay.
I made dinner.
Nice.
But, undefeated Niners.
Yeah, there you go.
Joining us right now to celebrate the voice of the Niners, the one, the only, Greg Papa. Good morning, Mr. Papa.
Yeah, the Warriors beat the Kings later that night, and then Steph Curry made a 3, and they beat him again on Tuesday night. Welcome back, David. I've missed you.
I missed you too.
Just stabbed to the heart.
Sorry. They don't count. They're preseason games. No one cares.
It doesn't matter.
That game Wednesday was fun. That was one of the best preseason games I've ever seen. But right after the Warner pick there, I thought they needed to go 14-0,
mm-hmm.
and they did not. And it was and then Jake Moody missed a field goal, and they did go up 10-0. But in any event, they just didn't play well. There were so many missed opportunities, and I honestly think Cleveland deserved to win the game. Now, Jake makes the last one, the 41-yarder. You wind up winning, but I just felt like for a variety of reasons, starting with the dark and dank weather on the shores of Lake Erie on Sunday, I just think it was more Cleveland's kind of game. And the Niners obviously can win that kind of game. They're built to win on the road and in inclement weather with their running game and their defense, and they just couldn't get it done on Sunday. So I thought, a lot of respects, it was the perfect, or you might say the imperfect storm. And the fact that Cleveland had their bye week, do not discount that. Yeah. They had 2 weeks to get ready for that game. And after the 49ers get back from Minnesota, and they're going to get back at the crack of dawn on Monday night, turning to Tuesday morning, the Bengals are going to come in on Sunday off their bye week as well. So a lot of these teams have their bye weeks before they play the 49ers this year.
Greg, wanted to talk to you about everything you said there. I agree. I thought the weather was a factor. Certainly injuries to the Niners a factor. Cleveland, the way they played, I think they deserve to win, as you said. The one thing that seemed the most out of character to me was the amount of penalties, really for both sides. Just a ton of calls made. What did you attribute that to, at least on the Niners side of things?
Well, a lot of it were legit. They were getting beat in a lot of one-on-one matchups, holds, and they got behind the down and distance a lot of false starts. I mean, a lot of penalties were debatable. The one on Tashawn Gibson obviously was a huge call on a 3rd and 10. If that's not called, what does Kevin Stefanski do there? Does he go forward on 4th and 10? He probably has to punt the ball. I mean, that could be the game right there. And then I think John Hussey's crew had a terrible game. Just a terrible game. It was, all I could hear was Marv Levy screaming at him, "You over-officious jerks." I mean, to call that amount, the most penalties in a game in a while, each team had 12 for, 224 yards. It was just ridiculous. And the one with Deshaun was so bang, bang. I think they need to make that reviewable. But the one that was really bad was the fumble by P.J. Walker. And it wasn't even the judgment on the call. It's the fact that John Hussey himself, the referee, blew the play dead. And once he blew it dead, I knew you're not going to be able to give the ball to the Niners because there's not going to be a fumble recovery. So the way they teach them now to mechanically call that play is to let the play go and then have replay sorted out later. But if you blow it dead, you're penalizing the defense because you're blowing the play dead, and now they can't get a clear recovery. So if either of those plays go the 49ers' way, the Gibson play, the personal foul, but that's a bang, bang, really hard one to legislate, and you can't review it. But the other one, I think Hussey just screwed that play up. They wound up getting intentional grounding, and so it was like a sack, but you wanted the sack and the fumble, and clearly Nick Bosa recovered that fumble, but you can't give it to the Niners because they blew the play dead.
And I'm not I'm not a blame the ref guy, and I'm actually really kind of proud of the fan base because you've got all kinds of folks.
Except when you go back to Dick Pavetta against the Lakers.
Well, correct.
We're moving on.
Blame the football ref. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Look, I agree with you. The Browns deserved it. I agree with you. They were in position. Moody should have made all that stuff. But man, the refs didn't help the Niners at all.
They did not. It was a terrible game. And I honestly think John Hussey was in line to referee a Super Bowl. The issue with him is he gets angry on the mic. He has like anger management issues. He starts snapping at people. And then he misspoke. He had the penalty on the wrong team.
Right.
He was on Ambry time. I mean, it was a travesty. So if you could lose a playoff assignment in one game, John Hussey and his crew just did on Sunday in Cleveland.
Greg, how about as we go forward, the health we saw, 3 guys get hurt, sounded encouraging on Trent Williams, obviously Deebo Samuel. McCaffrey, we still don't know. What do you think about McCaffrey's outlook for playing on Monday?
I honestly have no idea. It's good news that it's not a fractured rib and it's oblique, but still, God, that's painful. They did not do anything yesterday. They were back inside. So today with the schedule, today is like a Thursday to play on a Monday night. So it'd be nice if they practice today. We'll see what they designate them. They did not practice, all 3 of them. So if all 3 do not practice today, that's a concern. They still would have time to practice tomorrow because Saturday's like a Friday. Trent does not practice on Wednesday anyway all year. They give him a vet day off, so that's not a big deal. But that ankle sprain's bad.
Yeah.
I think he was still walking around in the boot. So in all honesty, it's Friday. The game is not till Monday night. I have no idea. I don't think they have any idea. I think what helps a lot is playing the game Monday night and not Sunday morning. You know, if we were playing this in a usual Sunday kick time, it'd be at 10 o'clock in the morning our time. On Sunday, you have, a day and a half more to get ready for Monday night at 5:15, 5:20, whenever the kickoff is. So you have a day and a half. That may not seem like a lot, but a lot of times that's just enough for the performance staff and the rehab people to work on an area. So we're just too early in the week to be able to tell if any of them will be able to go.
Greg Papa with us, voice of your San Francisco 49ers. Greg, you remember a few weeks ago when the Niners played the Giants, I said, that for some weird reason was my Brock Purdy, I fully believe moment, because he what he was dealing with and just watching those blitzes and watching how he handled it. It sucked. It was a loss. I hated it. Purdy wasn't great at all. But, with everything happening, Greg, with Deebo, with McCaffrey, with Trent Williams, with the weather, with the pick, with the overthrows, he put them in a position. Sorry, Jake, but sorry, Mr. Moody, but he put them in a position where an NFL kicker should make a 41-yard field goal to win the game. Am I okay in the head for thinking, despite everything, I also gained even more respect for Brock?
No, I'll get there. Let me just say, when I walked on the field, or first of all, when I even went outside on Sunday morning and got on the bus, I thought of 2 people, Jake Moody and Brock Purdy. Mm-hmm. And I thought, today's going to be a tough one.
Yeah. Because
the wind was whipping off Lake Erie. And I grew up in Buffalo, and I know that wind. And that stadium, I don't know why they built it out. Every stadium in the NFL, the field goes from north to south. This one goes from west to east. I think they just had to rush job it to get it done in time when they came back in 99 as the expansion grounds. But the point is the stadium's on the southern shore of Lake Erie. So you get a crosswind in that stadium blowing either off the lake or towards the lake. And this particular morning, it was howling jack going towards Lake Dreary. And so that first field goal, you could see where the wind was going to push that left to right in pregame. But then when it actually got to the game, the wind wasn't whipping as much at that moment. And he started it at the left pylon and it missed left. And then later it went right. So, and the ball was taken to the right. He hit that center and the wind pushed it right. So those are hard field goals in those conditions, really hard. Remember, they were so hard, and I'm not going to liken it. Remember the old Freezer Bowl, the Ice Bowl, when the Raiders played the Browns there in 81? There was a famous play in Cleveland called Red Right 88. Sam Rutigliano, the coach of the Browns, did not take a chip shot field goal. Don Cockcroft was the kicker. He didn't think they could make the kick going towards the lake. So he wound up, Brian Sipe threw one more, and it was intercepted by Mike Davis in the end zone. The Raiders won the playoff game. The wind was so bad that day, Tom Flores did not take the ball to start the game. He did not take the ball to start the second half.
Wow.
He took the wind in the fourth quarter. So it's not that kind of day, but it was bad. So Jake Moody, that's a hard field goal in those conditions, trust me. For Brock, I think he had a hard time gripping it and ripping it. He couldn't control the ball the way Jay couldn't control it off his right foot. Brock had a hard time with his right hand. I just think it was a hard day to grip the ball, throw the ball. Then the rain got into it. So I think a lot of those misses were just him not being able to control the ball, and he could not grip it and rip it. But I will say, to what you said starting out, David, he never lost the grip on the football team. He did not lose the grip on his composure. Did Brock Steady act any different at all as far as his demeanor?
No.
The way he got in the huddle? Did you see him yelling at anybody the way Derek Carr was throwing a hissy fit last night to his offensive coordinator, the way Tom Brady has, or I've seen Kirk Cousins lose his mind. So to me, it didn't go well. They didn't score 42 points like they did the week before. They got, really 17. And he missed more throws in this game than he has in any game by far. But he did not lose his grip on the football team. He was unflappable. And I think a lot of times you judge someone by how they behave when things are going badly. And it went badly Sunday. And he was the same Brock Purdy he's always been. And I think that his teammates saw that.
Brock Steady, right?
Yeah.
Brock Steady. Brock of Gibraltar.
Now you got to have me doing that.
Why couldn't he Brock and roll in Cleveland? Is what I want to know.
Well, you know what?
I was ready for the Brock and roll.
If they played like 10 overtimes, you could Brock around the clock. Just gonna do this all day.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
Have a great trip to Minnesota. Go get a Juicy Lucy in St. Paul if you can.
So what's the Juicy Lucy? That's where the cheese is inside the meat?
Yep, exactly. It's a hamburger basically, and they pack a bunch of melty cheese in there, melty yellow cheese, sew it all up, and then serve it how you like it. And just if you do, either wear a bib or lean forward. Trust me.
Oh, good. I got you. It's going to be a little messy. I'm going to get the Lucy is going to be juicy all over my pants. Is what you're saying?
And you will not be Brock steadying back home. You'll be going to the dry cleaner.
No. Okay. I got you.
All right, Greg. Thank you so much
Greg.
as always. Have a
Take
great
care, guys.
Take care.
Talk to you next week.
Bye. That's it. Greg Papa. We could. We should just come up with a list of Brockisms. Give them to him next week. You might use. How great would that be? And then he uses one and sit there and go, ooh.